One leadership myth that needs to die.
KPIs drive progress. Lousy strategies have never killed corporations. Lousy leadership, however, has. If I cannot do it, nobody else can. I am always right. I can make no mistakes. People make the balance sheet of the company and still don't appear on it. That's the tragedy of accounting. The difference between a monkey and a human. It is only 1.5 to 2%, and yet it is a vital difference.
Welcome to our podcast of Great Lakes Institute of Management, Gurgaon. We are honored to have with us Mr. Suresh Narayanan, former chairman and managing director, Nestlé India, a leader renowned for his rebuilding trust and redefining values-driven leadership. Over the years, he has guided Nestlé through transformative phases, championing diversity, inclusion, and sustainability. His exceptional leadership earned him numerous awards like People-Centric CEO by Economic Times, the Best CEO FMCG by Business Today, and the Most Valuable CEO by Business World. I, Dr. Purnima Gupta, Professor of OB and HR, would be taking you through his 5 Ps of leadership, which he has been promoting quite a lot, and he's been using it throughout his 44 years of career. We have this 5 Ps which he talked about: purpose, passion, people, principles, and performance. A simple yet profound philosophy that has become a compass for managers and executives. So we are honored to have you with us, Mr. Narayanan. If I may ask you, that you're known for this 5P framework of leadership, but I want to start with another word that you use very often, which is Insaaniyat, or humanity. In today's world, which is AI driven, and as well as budgets and bottom lines, how often or how much do you think that this humanity comes in conflict with performance?
Thank you, Dr. Purnima. Thank you for having me in this podcast. It's really a privilege and honor for me to be at Great Lakes. I think the world is somewhere along the line with the kind of turmoil that geopolitics is throwing up, and that society is throwing up. The word Insaaniyat is getting more and more blurred in our dictionary. I actually used it in the context of 3 I's that I call it. Inayat, which is graciousness; Ibadat, which is prayer; and Insaaniyat, which is humanity. And for me, in my definition, Insaaniyat is the center of what we stand for as a human race. And business and society is closely connected, and in fact, nothing can be divorced from the word Insaaniyat. In today's day and age, I think the conflict is one of achieving short-term results at any cost against long-term sustainable results, which is what in the past things used to happen. And therefore, the abjuring of the word Insaaniyat as far as the organization is concerned and society is concerned. So it's a very sad reflection of where we have come to in our thinking as humans, where we have come to as leaders, and the kind of role models that we have set for ourselves for the future. But Insaaniyat is what it is all about and what it should be all about.
So you're saying that for sustainable organizations, Insaaniyat is a must,
yes,
not a choice.
I mean, the question is that the first P of the 5 Ps is people. People, purpose, planet, partnership, and performance. And performance comes last. Performance comes when all the other 4 Ps are in place. That's the simple rule of business, which we seem to have forgotten, or focusing on a few of them and not remembering the rest of it.
You've often said that lousy leadership and not lousy strategies which make heroes zeros. So what was the most common lousy leadership trait that you have encountered and you have had to mentor leaders out of?
I think, in my observation, and I'm fairly convinced about it, is that lousy strategies have never killed corporations. They have delayed the process of achieving results, but they have never killed corporations or killed businesses. Lousy leadership, however, has. Lousy leadership manifested itself in 2 ways. One is the shutting out of thoughts of others in the consideration of business decisions that a leader takes, which means that there is a sense of overconfidence and hubris that overtakes people, a certain sense of entitlement that I am entitled to good results all the time, I'm entitled to good things all the time, I'm entitled to success all the time, and that leads to hubris and arrogance. And the second one is really to discount the power of people. A few traits that typically happen in organizations. If I cannot do it, nobody else can. I am always right. I can make no mistakes. We have to keep trying and trying, even if the efforts are going to be a failure. And finally, if I don't do it, I'm not successful. I think these 5 behaviors that transcend the ego and the hubris of a leader are the most common traits that I find that leads to the downfall of organizations.
Yeah, our Uncle Bala also used to say that, either ego or I go.
Yes.
So that's very important. So have you had to mentor people out of any of these traits throughout your career?
Well, constantly. I mean, I've had the privilege of working with hundreds and thousands of people in a long career of 44 years. So I've had some leaders whom I've really admired, and even younger leaders than me whom I've admired for their perspective, for their balance, and for their poise as human beings. Equally, there have been others whom I've had to shake out of overconfidence and hubris. I think overconfidence and hubris, which are transcending the ego of the individual, are probably the most common traits that I've tried to counsel people out of. It's always a difficult task. People don't accept it. We don't see the truth when the truth is in front of us. And therefore, we don't make change when change is imperative. So I think both hubris and arrogance are traits that I've had the misfortune sometimes of counseling people out of, but I've tried.
So I want to give you one situation that suppose you have a loyal employee who's been with the company loyal for the last 15 years, but recently his performance is not up to the mark. Now you talk about people and performance, and his performance is actually hindering the rise of another star potential performer under him. How do you deal in such a situation? Does it conflict with people and performance?
Look, Dr. Purnima, I've always believed that every man or woman is guided by a motive and is guided by self-interest above all. There is a certain motive of self-interest. And the manifestation of a lack of performance can also be circumstances that are beyond what you see. I'll give you a live example. I mean, I've had some years ago in Nestlé an employee who was extremely ill-tempered and very disturbed all the time. He was a very intelligent person, but somehow he was unable to focus his attention on the problem at hand and come with a solution. The recommendation given was to fire the person, saying, please ask him to leave. But I felt extremely bad about it. I said, look, it can't be so simple. So I had a chat with him and found out that he had a special needs child. And he was worried how this child would grow up and how he will take care of this child into adulthood. And that was gnawing him and his wife completely. Obviously, that was impacting his performance. So therefore, we decided to shift him to a lighter role so that he's able to spend a little bit more time with the family and with his special needs child. So it's very easy to be dismissive. People make the balance sheet of the company and still don't appear on it. That's the tragedy of accounting. But that doesn't mean that people are to be written off. Every person can have a bad day in his life, can have a bad year in his life, can have a bad moment in his life. That doesn't mean that they are intrinsically bad. I think the task of leadership is to be able to recognize the flowers in the garden and to allow them to bloom in the manner in which they need to be nurtured.
That's pretty impressive, Mr. Narayanan, because it shows why you got the Best CEO of the Year award. And it's sometimes very rare to find such kind of leadership who is willing to overlook a person's performance for a longer term. And no wonder people want to stick around with these kind of companies. So the another P that you talk about is planet. Now, when we talk about planet and performance, now sustainability is essential, but consumers don't pay for it. Sometimes customers will not take the extra charge that you put it because you want to create sustainable products. So if you wanted to create a sustainable product, how do you go and take that to your board, convince your board to spend millions of dollars on something which the ROI is negative maybe?
See, planet and sustainability, Dr. Purnima, is in the DNA of the company. This is something like saying that the difference between a monkey and a human, right? It is only 1.5 to 2% in terms of the genetic material that differentiates us from a simian, and yet it is a vital difference. It is the same for sustainability. It is in the DNA of the company, and the company, if it believes in the fact that a sustainable planet and that a clean environment is essential for human habitation and growth and development, then it focuses on it. The company that I had the privilege of leading for 10 years, Nestlé in India, sustainability was very much part of the DNA of the company. We knew that the consumer will not pay for it. We knew that we had to invest in it, but yet we did it and we continue to do it. Because this is the task that cannot be left to anybody else in the hope that someone else will take care of the planet. So sustainable behavior, sustainable practices, ensuring a sustainable environment is the responsibility that each one of us have. You go to cities and you find the amount of garbage and filth that there is. Yet you travel overseas and you are scared of throwing a packet on the street. Why is that? It's because there are punitive measures there. But why can't you treat your own home in a sustainable manner and in a environment friendly manner? Because that will increase the longevity of both you and succeeding families in the world. And therefore, for me, it is an essential part. How to balance the books, that's the task of leadership. There are no easy answers. It doesn't mean that you can fix it in a hurry. At the same time, if you do not make this effort, then I think you're depriving the world and the consumer a chance for a better life. And that is something that is not the responsibility that anyone can take lightly.
So now you are in the second inning, per se, like you left your corporate career, you're going to more into mentoring. So as you look back on your 44-year-old career, what are the things that you feel that you learned early in your career on leadership traits, and what is it that you feel that took you really longest to master?
The things that I learned early in my life was that people matter. My first assignments were fairly tricky and challenging. To close a factory in Ahmedabad, a new product launch that had failed, that I was to manage. So all of this taught me the power of people and the fact that people are at the center of all that I do and all that we do. Second was the power of focus. That there are numerous things that are happening in the world around you, but a good leader is one who is able to zero in on the most top priorities and is able to focus on those priorities. Concentration is a power that is invaluable. Today, we look at dissipation as a power, but I have been taught that concentration is a power. So, concentrating on the issue is extremely important. And number three is teamwork. The minute we start getting into our ego, the mind, the framework that says that I am the cause of everything good that's happening on the planet, is the beginning and the end of your career as a professional. So teamwork for me and cooperation is extremely important. The fourth one is the power of compassion. Compassion and empathy are hand in glove with progress and performance. You can't divorce one from the other. One area that took me the longest to attempt to master, and I could still say that it is not a mastery that I've got, is managing the self. And I believe that the core part of leadership is the ability to manage yourself, manage your emotions, manage your perspective, manage your wants, manage your imagination, manage the things that matter in your life. That's a constant struggle that one goes through as a human being. Even in my second innings, I go through the same struggle.
But I'm sure that you'll be able to manage that also pretty well as you have done the others. So for the 25-year-old MBA, the ones who are actually going through MBA or are just graduating from MBA, what would be your advice if they want to become a leader like you? That what is it that you want them to know that you wish you had known when you started your career?
Two things that are important for youngsters that I would give as suggestions for their improvement. Number one is have clarity on what you want to do with your life. Today we are confused by numerous attractions and numerous distractions. I think a secret of a happy life, I would not say a successful life, but a happy life is to be able to be clear in your mind on what you want to do as a human being or what you want to be as a human being. I think that's important. The second one piece is to be authentic. I learned this, that it is okay to be yourself. There's no point in trying to emulate somebody that you are not. Authenticity can be read out in seconds. Even a little child can make out whether I can approach this adult or not. That authenticity is something that is refreshing for most people. So, identifying what you want to do with your life and authenticity are two elements that I would say, apart from all other elements of focus, of direction, of hard work, professionalism, respect, etc., etc. These two, I think, would be key to a long-term happiness. May or may not be successful. I mean, you will not become a big man or whatever. That sometimes is also dependent on good luck, right? Being at the right place at the right time. I mean, I was fortunate in being at the right place at the right time for some of my assignments that had nothing to do with my own inherent ability to navigate it, but it just happened to be so. And that's something that you have to learn to live with.
Although people say that luck is what you make of it, right?
Yes.
So you can't negate the hard work. So
Yes.
I'm sure a lot of hard work went into being at the right place at the right time. So that is always there, and all kudos to you for being having that ability of being persistent, being trustworthy, being reliable. I'm sure that was something which played a part in your being the leader. So if I can take the small detour and ask you a quick rapid fire questions, just whatever comes to your mind first. One leadership myth that needs to die.
KPIs drive progress.
Good. A book every manager needs to read.
I would recommend a book called Ikigai.
Okay, great. The most underrated leadership habit.
Thoughtfulness.
And the best career advice you ever received.
Do what interests you and do it well.
Great. Thank you so much, sir, for being such a good guest on our podcast. And I would like to thank Mr. Narayanan for being here with us, for sharing his experiences. I'm sure would be very relevant to our students, to all the other managers, would-be managers, aspiring leaders, on his thoughts on how compassion is something which needs to be cultured. Clarity in thought, authenticity is something that we can work on to become great leaders. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Purnima. Thank you very much, and thank you to Great Lakes for enabling this for me. I'm deeply grateful to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.